Hello and welcome to the Execute Script Pod. Welcome to the podcast. We talk about game maker stuff here. I'm Najum Key.
I'm not Dragonite.
I'm Rashid2497.
Unfortunately, I'll Die Without Pi is not here at the moment. I do not know if he's going to be able to come online today during this podcast. We'll have to see. Anyway, what's today's topic? Like debugging stories?
Yeah, debugging stories, bugs in general, complain about stuff we don't know about.
Flipping
It's all fun.
tables?
Emoticons. And
See, you
Flavio
guys
as
have
well.
like a load of bug stories saved up for this. I've seen that you have been like seeing roll around in Discord. Who wants to start it off?
I'm fairly sure Dragonite has the most interesting bug stories.
I have the most infuriating.
Well,
What?
same thing for some people.
Well, then lead it off, my friend. Why are you so nervous?
I wanted to go last.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it's not gonna last longer because you just waited for someone else to start.
Alright, fine. Let's see. Taking off this good old paper list here that I wrote because I'm a nerd. Alright, let's see. What's a fun
Alright.
one? We've already tried recording this podcast once, by the way, and it failed because of
Yeah,
T's
here's a
audio
fun
crash.
bug story. So this is sort of somewhat my bad for not testing it. For whatever reason, so my microphone is on my phone, right? I just record straight off the phone, right? And I have
yep.
this app on my phone that records the audio. So I opened Discord on my phone and then opened the app on my phone to record my voice. For whatever reason, Discord's thing fucks with my microphone, and so my microphone doesn't record if I'm connected to a voice chat via Discord. And I don't know why that is because it records via Mumble and it records in TeamSpeak. It doesn't record for Discord. I have no idea why. Fucking so annoying.
So that's a
So
fun bug
there's a
story.
that's a bug that I'm pretty sure should not exist.
I have found the bug with headphones today. Apparently the microphone, muting, the button doesn't work.
Mute button
Right now
doesn't
it's,
work?
yeah, it's set to mute and I'm talking. So, great job. I think Sound Blaster. Oh well.
Anyway, let's see. I forgot to declare a local variable in the for loop once, and then the for loop went haywire and I had no idea why for several days. That was fun. That's
Must
not
have
That's
been.
a really this is a really quick bug. Yeah.
That wasn't the most exciting bug ever, but I suppose it's one to lead off with.
Yeah.
So here's a bug story. Or it's a little bit of a debugging story more than a bug story by itself. So I'm working on sort of a basic platforming thingy, right? 2D, all that. It's kind of like Hollow Knight, like Shantae, whatever you want to say. Um, Basic platforming thing. And so in this platforming game, I wanted to have like a walking state and then like a dashing state, like a running state, right? So the way I wanted to have you turn into this running state, I wanted you to hold X and then it would enter the run state. The problem I was running into was that when I held X, it would enter the running state and then it wouldn't leave the running state when I stopped holding X, and I couldn't figure out why. I kept like going through all my like dash code. So obviously I have like the script execute, right? And then script execute state underscore move was how you would do the normal move. And then it would be state underscore dash for the dash state. And nothing in the dash state had it should have been normal, right? So basically, I was like commenting out sections of code with like the double dashes, trying to see like how I can make why it was staying like this. And eventually, I just like, okay, fuck it, I'll just leave it alone. Maybe I'll find out about it later. And turns out I did. So like 2 days ago, I was messing around with the move state just in general, trying to make it so that like I can term sharp and stuff. And I found out that in my code, so to go to the dash state, right, I have keyboard check ord x dash meter equals dash meter underscore -3, right?
That is more code than I could have recited off the top of my head.
So, well, I have the program in front of me. I have GameMaker open right now.
Oh,
So
still.
what was happening was that instead of setting the dash meter to max, instead of filling the dash meter as I set the state, I set it to 0, right? For some reason, because I'm an idiot and I forgot how like order works. So what was happening was the dash state would it would start, and then when you would go back to the move state, the pre-existing condition for the dash state was already there to enable another dash state. So it was constantly trying to go back into the move state. The move state was constantly saying, "Nah, nah, nah, man, we have to. You've held down X. You're ready to be in the dash state." So it would constantly be going back and forth into the dash state. It was really, really dumb. That's the
It had a
sort of
happy ending.
debugging. Yeah, I finally figured it out after like
Be right
2 weeks
back.
of with this. That might have been hard to follow, I realize, but think of it like this, right? Normally you were in walk, and then I pressed X, and when I pressed X, dash equals true. And instead of making dash equals false after a while, um, I made it so in the move state, dash was set to equal to true, and then in the dash state, it would say dash is equal to false, go to move state, and move state would say, hey, dash is equal to true, why you come to me, you know?
Basically, two states bickering.
Yeah, two states that were constantly setting it to the dash state.
Yeah,
So
like a marriage
that's like
argument.
the biggest bug I've run into recently that I had to fix. That was fun.
Yeah, I have about like 2 pages worth of bugs right now. Should I wait for Dragonite to come back or
Go for it.
alright? Well, I have it categorized by basically 5 projects. I'll go from least important to like most important to me at least. I
Dude,
was
go however you want to go.
Yeah, I'm just like explaining my categorization, which is absolutely not important to anything. Well, I've been fiddling around with a third-person platformer camera in Unity. It was going fairly well, or at least I thought it had been. My math was nearly correct. However, the camera was just spinning around uncontrollably.
I
I
love it when
had
that
no idea.
happens.
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea why. Like I later found out I forgot to convert the degrees to radians. Good job, me.
Nowadays do you use the new d sine, d cosine, d tangent functions?
I do, although that was in Unity.
Oh, that was in
So
Unity, not
yeah,
GameMaker. I missed the first part of this conversation.
yeah, the
Yeah, don't worry about it.
d cosine, d sine, and such are basically time savers,
It saves on
and very
typing.
good ones.
Although if you forget which measurement you're using, that can probably be more trouble than good.
Yeah, I never use anything other than degrees, so I'm set for that.
It's funny because in GameMaker at least the everything except the trigonometry functions used degrees.
Do
Yeah.
length there x and y count?
I thought those used degrees, don't they?
Yes, they do, but like, aren't they basically just trigonometry
Oh
functions
yeah, I
with
guess they qualify as
vectors?
trigonometry.
Yeah. So basically, just the basic trigonometry is
Yeah, the
kind of shit.
sines, the cosines, those variety of functions.
Yeah. Although working with radians, I believe, is a lot better when trying to handle lerping. Like,
Okay,
I'm fairly sure, at least from my experiences in Unity.
I can see
Yeah,
that,
I've
I
not messed
suppose.
around too much with that. I've not messed around too much in Unity, I'm not gonna lie.
I've opened it
I
like
mean,
once ever, so
yeah, I have messed around with it a fair bit. I used to really not like it due to the physics engine and like just in general the IDE. Always used to say I prefer Unreal Engine, but
Physics engines. Speaking of physics engines, I've got
oh, do you
another
have a
funny
fun
bug.
story involving physics?
You know this one because you tried to help me fix it and you couldn't figure it out. You remember that healing pad?
Oh yeah.
So I've got this healing pad. It's the same platforming game, by the way, as the other bug I was running into. So basically, in platforming game, I have health. Max health is equal to 3, health is equal to 2, right? And on this healing pad, I put in the code like distance to no, sorry. Fuck, I fucked it up. Okay, so in this healing pad object, I tried place meet. I have in the step event place meeting uh XY and then obj underscore player, right?
Sure.
Have
Yeah,
the play have this object be completely like walk through, no like collision to it, right? Player walks into the healing pad, nothing fucking happens. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of annoying. Add collision, still nothing happens. So I switch it up. I say, okay, instead of place meeting, I'll do position meeting, right? I don't
yeah,
really know how they're different, but sure, should be the same thing. Having collision on doesn't work. Take off the collision, player standing literally inside the fucking object doesn't work. Health is not going up. And it's literally just like health plus equal. It's like the simplest code you could possibly have, not fucking working. Finally, I fixed it. Currently, I'm using distance to object, and the object is obviously obj underscore player. But I don't understand still why this doesn't work. And it's fucking really annoying. I'm assuming there's something in my collision code that's not making it work.
There's probably some
Dragonite.
totally sideways solution to this, to the problem that nobody would ever think of.
What?
No, I'm saying there's probably some like the solution is probably completely off in a
Well,
different
like the
direction than
annoying
what.
thing is that they're obviously colliding. The objects are totally colliding, but it's not counting as a collision, and I'm not sure why.
what about like masks? Those can like fuck shit up very heavily.
The collision masks.
Yeah,
Let me open this up. Literally a box is my collision. I've not messed around with the masks at all.
hmm. Well, I mean, if distance object works, just like leave it as it is.
It's probably faster because game collisions are notoriously slow.
Yeah,
Although that might not hold true when you have like a million healing pads in one level.
I mean, yeah, I still have no idea why this healing pad doesn't work the way I would like it to. It's really annoying. It's one of those like really minor annoyances too, where it's like, okay, it works now, but I don't know why it didn't work before, and that's what's really bothering me.
It's one of those situations where you have no idea why your code both is and isn't working.
yeah, that's something that happens very frequently.
I also just noticed I've organized my things wrong. I have particle effects labeled as enemies for some reason. Okay, that's
Make a
not
game
good.
about fighting particles. That sounds
Eh,
like Bullet Hell.
I mean, I have two objects for my character's right and left arm, and earlier in the project's development cycle, they were mistakenly labeled, well, opposite of what they actually were.
So the left arm was labeled right and right arm was labeled left.
Yes.
I've had a couple instances like that. Um, I've had kind of this asteroid style game where it's like when you die, you're supposed to fly off screen, right? So what I
Yeah,
had is like, oh, if you're in the top half of the screen, you fly up, and if you're in the bottom half of the screen, you fly down whenever you get hit, and that's how you die, right?
yeah.
The problem was that I had accidentally inversed them. So when you would die, you would just fly to the middle of the screen and just bounce back and forth, back and forth. It was a little bit funny.
Hmm.
That's when you
Like
stop calling it a bug and calling it a feature, and start calling it a feature.
Well, then
space
you
ping
can't
pong.
have game over screen, can you?
Nope.
It's like invincibility mode.
Or how about you do this? Don't have no lives. Just
No lies.
whenever
You just whenever you
whenever
get hit, you get stuck.
no, not that. Whenever you game over, it gets stuck in this repeated cycle. You save like game over somewhere in the file, or like open a binary file, write one to it, and then when the user loads up the game, it checks for that file. If it exists, just put them in the game over scenario again. You have one try, nothing else.
And if you want to start over, you have to uninstall the game and re-download it. Perfect.
Yeah.
So while we've been doing this podcast, I'm not gonna lie, I've not really been paying too much attention because I noticed, I noticed, so when I dash, right, I have this little smoke particle that comes out of the player's feet, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So the dash particle, when you're running to the right, it's oriented so that the dust sort of comes out of the foot. When you're running to the left, it looks like the dash. It looks like I didn't invert the sprite, and so it just sort of comes out of nowhere into the foot, which is mildly amusing.
The foot is
So
on
now,
fire.
yeah, so I might need to make a whole new like object so that I can flip that properly.
I'll just
But
draw it
yeah,
inverted over the y-axis.
or I could do that. Yeah.
That might work.
Anyone else have
I
any good
mean, like,
stories?
the
Oh, sorry.
issue is this is like its own sprite, or not like its own sprite. This is its own like object. So I have player object summons another object, and so it's easier for me to just flip the sprites and then make a new object rather than like.
Well, you could just
Actually, maybe
assign
it's
the
not
image
easy.
x angle. I mean, image x angle, image x scale to -1.
Yeah, but I would have to do that in like the create event, and then it would affect all of that object, wouldn't it?
Well, you could just catch the instance that you create and um, in a variable and say variable dot image x scale equals -1.
Wait, what? No, I'm creating an instance. It's not in. It's not going to be in the room. I can't like do any sort of creation code thing.
Yeah. You know how you have to command instance create XY object.
Yeah.
When that is called, it returns the object's ID. If you store that in a variable, you can then do stuff like obj.imageAngle equals something. It sets that
Oh.
singular object's, for example, angle to whatever you please.
Oh wait, really?
Yep.
Oh fuck, that would have been so useful for a text box thing I was making before.
I love that sudden realization that you can do something when people have that epiphany.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like a puzzle game thing. Hold on, fuck. I need to look this up now. Wait, so when you do instance create, it stores an ID. What? I've literally
It
never
returns the
fucking heard of
ID.
this.
You never knew that?
Yeah, it's actually very useful.
That's like the only reason that I can still use
Oh my
GameMaker.
god. In the fucking Yo-Yo Games fucking manual, it says this shit. How have I never fucking. Okay, sure, sure.
Moving
Well,
on.
the more you know.
The more you know.
Yep. The more you know. Yeah, but no, Dragonite, you're totally right. Like, this is one of those times where I'm like, oh man, I can completely redo how I've done my, like, menus and how I've done the text boxes. So I have these signs all around the world, and I have the most obtuse system that to like summon up text boxes. This would be so much better. It's like a puzzle game, right? Where a big part of why puzzle games are fun, at least in my opinion, is the process of trying to understand the puzzle. You know, of trying to understand. Okay, what is this puzzle trying to ask of me? You know, so like, let's take an example. Have you guys played fucking Antichamber?
I have not, but
Um,
I have seen video of it.
yeah,
Have you played like a Minecraft puzzle map?
no.
Sort of.
So in a lot of Minecraft puzzle map, like let's say there are like two levers and you have to have them in a certain orientation to open a door, right? That's a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Part of what makes puzzle fun is trying to understand, okay, what can I do? Oh, I can, if I right click the lever it changes and then stuff happens, right? That's like a big part of why puzzle games are fun. If you, instead of those levers, you had a button and you click the button, oh, the button doesn't do anything, that's not fun because nothing's like, you don't know what the puzzle is, it's opaque. You don't know what the process into getting the puzzle finished you know? That's kind of like why what makes programming and game development fun is like everything is fully within your control. You have full understanding of what's going on. And when you lose understanding of what's going on, it's because you've messed up and you are able to sort of backtrack and figure out where you went wrong, right? In my opinion, that's sort of like what makes puzzle games fun and what makes programming fun is that you have the sort of understanding of like what the systems are that's going down, you know?
Yeah, that might be the case. I have absolutely no idea why programming is fun. It's just like inherently fun to me.
Well, what puzzle games do you play, right?
And no, I just don't. I don't play
You
puzzle
ever play
games.
like Unblock Me or like Flow or
No,
like any
the
mini games?
and the only things I have ever played that were close to puzzle games were the Grow series of Flash games, I believe they were called, the Grow Tower and things like that.
Yeah. So
And
in those
then
games, you understand the process, the rules by which the game runs, right? You understand that if I start with a human and then I start with the water, the human and the water might interact, right? And
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't interact and you don't understand why, but you figure that out. And it's like being able to understand the process is part of the fun in Grow Cube. Now, Grow Cube's a little bit different because I think a big part of that game is like trying to figure out what interacts with what. What some things just don't interact because the game's trying to annoy you. Um, but like it's the same sort of process, I think.
yeah. The only problem with that is that I just don't really enjoy puzzle games. Like even the Grow series of games I played because I essentially just like watching all the animations that came out of it. That was a very long time ago.
I mean, you've got to have played some puzzle games. The darn thing is
Uh,
everywhere. Like, you ever play like that one candy
I pl-
cane whose company turned out to be a real piece of shit?
no, I have played
Do you know
TIS
what I'm talking about?
100.
It's like Candy Crusher or something.
No, I just don't play puzzle games.
It was like Bejeweled. It was really
No,
popular. No? You ever
like
play Bejeweled?
I must have
I'm
played a
reaching here. I
variation of it.
realize that. Yeah. Do you guys want to get back on topic? Okay. You guys got any debugging stories that are pretty good?
I was just gonna add to that. I don't play puzzle games because I don't like having to use my brain, but sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
kind of the same for
You
me.
don't like using your brain, but you decided to try and try and teach yourself 3D in Game Maker.
I don't see any problem with that.
It's a bit of brain power involved with 3D in Game Maker.
Just a little.
Just a little.
But getting back to the earlier point, I like it when I uh, I just try something and I have no idea if it's going to work, and it ends up making my life so much easier.
Yeah, the problem with that is when you don't understand what you just did and it works.
Yeah.
Then if something breaks in there, you're just like
Well,
fucked.
time to go back to the old way. But no, usually if
Uh,
something
I
works, I
guess
have an
that's
idea
yeah.
why.
yeah,
I can see how that can be like a little bit fun. Yeah.
I just made the game load twice as fast as it did before. That's kind of
I'm
cool.
not gonna lie. I'm like now that I've finished talking, my brain's like, okay, how can I assign variables to all of my instance creates?
The dot operator usually will do the trick.
but
No. I can manually write it out. I'll wait till after the podcast though. Don't worry. I'll be a fucking nerd after I'm off this fucking nerd podcast. That should be our name, Nerdcast. If there's not already a
I'm
million
sure
people with
there's
that name.
30 or 40 nerdcasts out there already.
yeah,
Hello, we are nerds. Would you
yeah,
like to talk about the nerd thing? I play D&D. I am a nerd.
At least we're not like three drunk guys playing games or something like that, because everybody and their dog is three drunk guys playing games or whatever.
Yo,
yeah.
I would love to watch some podcasts about like guys playing like Actually, fuck. I don't know any good board games anymore. It's been so long since I played like a board game, dude. I think like the last board game I played was like with one friend, and it was like some Viking game that he had. I forgot.
Some Viking game. That sounds like a pretty good board game. Anything
Yeah.
with
It
Vikings
was
in it,
pretty
really.
good. I'm not gonna lie. It had some really cool. It had a really cool monster system where it's like a new monster would spawn every turn, and if nobody fought it, it would damage all players. But whoever fought it would be at a disadvantage because you would use resources to fight. This is completely off topic, by the way.
We've been off
Someone,
topic for
throw
about 20
bugs
minutes
at
now.
me.
It's all good.
Well, I'm very good at that, so hush.
Well, if you want bugs, I have made Satan once out of a meme,
Oh God,
no
you're gonna
less.
link something?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
sorry, but this has to be seen.
Future self,
To
put this in the
be honest.
video. Ow,
Yeah,
my eyes.
you're
What
just
what did you
welcome.
do
What
to
is
your poor
going on
computer?
here?
My computer. I
I'm
was
not
make
sure what I'm
I
looking at.
a meme basically, but
It looks like what
I
happens
was
when the texture pages get like blown up and scattered all over the computer screen.
yeah, that's most definitely not what happens. I was making a binary level loader for GameMaker
Oh,
with a custom file format, no less. But
that's always fun.
I was in the process of adding backgrounds that worked beautifully somehow. Then I started adding in the multiple functions for backgrounds, or like just extended variables, I guess, like background blend in this case.
Blend modes?
And not blend modes, just background blend, the variable.
Oh,
Uh, I had 3 bytes for red, green, and blue. To test it out, I made red and green to 0 and maxed out blue. This came out of it. I don't know if this qualifies as a bug, but
It's actually quite clever, even though like the result is god awful. But
terrifying.
I like the mentality behind it. It's quite
it'll
clever.
work. I mean,
I mean, the file format works. The only thing I don't know how to add it is objects. But
Ratchet, we will have a long conversation after this podcast is over about adding objects from files.
sure. But
Sorry, I'm still not paying attention because I managed to get my dust to flip using the method you guys taught me. But hey, it works! Woo!
wait, you managed to get your what? How did that happen?
The dust to
The
flip.
the particle effects.
Oh,
Yeah, I managed to
flip.
flip particle effects
I
by
misheard that. I
setting it
thought you
for
managed to get
zero.
your entire desktop flipped. Like
Oh,
what some NVIDIA cards, I believe, what you do.
you said that, and the first thing that came to mind was he managed to actually flip his desk. Like the table
That would
flip
be
face, except
very
in real life.
upsetting for
Uh,
me, if only because I still have to study for my statistics test on Monday. Nah. I still have exams. It's not fun.
yeah, we'll have a single, like, huge, not really exam. Like, I'm fairly sure I'm one of the youngest people here,
You're cutting in and
so
out for me.
that
A
might be due
couple
to.
things.
I can hear him.
You can hear him? He's like half in, half out, like robot for me.
That's odd.
That's pretty much my life in
Is
general.
that my connection again? Aw, man.
I
It
can hear
might be.
you fine.
You can hear me, and I can hear you, but I can't hear Ratchet, which is interesting.
Okay, Discord.
Good job, Discord. We should seriously consider using like Slack or something.
Does Slack have voice chat?
What is
I have
Slack?
absolutely no idea.
It's like
I've
a
used Mumble. I've never heard of Slack.
Slack is
That's a
like
new
a
one.
cross between Discord and IRC, isn't it?
I'm fairly sure that's the entire point of Slack.
I know it's used a lot in like team projects.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Bug stuff.
I'm still not paying attention. Sorry.
If you want, I have a list of like
Dragonite, why
four
don't you
other
tell him
bugs.
about the Chinese bug?
Oh yes, that was another one. Once I wrote a lot of data to a text file, and when I opened up the text file to read it, it was all in Chinese. And I have no idea why, except that,
Did
I don't know, I must have screwed around with some, I don't even know.
did you accidentally open like a binary file or something?
Um, I don't remember if I was writing a binary or text file. This was for like Pokemon base stats and stuff, back in the day when I was still doing that. And I tried opening up the file in Notepad, and instead of looking like whatever it was supposed to look like, it was all in Chinese characters.
Yeah,
We don't even
and
really know if it's Chinese, do we? Do you think you would have been able to recognize Chinese characters if it was like Japanese or something?
Um, like I said in the failed take of the podcast, the characters were fairly intricate, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Korean or Japanese or anything.
yeah,
And
Korean has like squares and defined shapes. I'm very sure.
yeah, and Japanese is usually, well,
Just like
simpler
squiggle,
simpler
simple.
characters.
Yeah, or
Ah,
at least one
okay.
of the alphabets of Japanese.
If I can find the file, I'll throw a screenshot on the video part of this
If
podcast.
you find the file, see if you can Google Translate it.
Oh yeah, I should do that too.
Yeah, maybe it's a secret message.
I would love it if like it came out perfectly translated into like the code you originally had, because that would just make it even more confusing. Like, what the hell happened here? I
Or
think
you could
last
try.
time.
Sorry.
Hold on, can you guys hear this?
No,
It sounds like there's like something's like being drained. I don't know how to explain it. There's like
Yeah,
this really really loud sound where I'm at.
it's really faint on my end, but it's hearable.
I can't hear it. So can we chalk that up to a bug in real life?
Yeah, IRL bug. Someone is draining a shitload of liquid, and I don't know what.
It's like the
It
joke I
doesn't
made the
sound
last time. Don't
like
you
you
hate it when you
can
clip through the
sometimes hear when
sidewalk
people
when
are
you're
taking
walking
a
down the
shower,
street?
right?
Well, this
Sorry.
what?
BRB again.
But no, so it sounds like something is being drained, but it's not a shower. It's not like a shower sound. Like I live in an apartment complex. I know when someone's taking a shower, just how thin the walls are, right? This
Yeah,
is not the sound of someone taking a shower. This is the sound of like tons of liquids being like flooded somewhere